Central on Fox.
Back at the stadium where the two teams shaking hands near the center of the pitch. A reminder, there are 4 groups of 4 teams in this competition. The top 2 teams from each group will advance to the knockout stage, the quarterfinals here. Mexico were quarterfinalists at the 2014 U-17 Women's World Cup. Here's how they line up for manager Chris Cuellar. Defender Ashley Soto's club team is SoCal Blues. Diana Cazares, Daniela Espinoza, Montserrat Hernandez, and Jacqueline Ovalle, all with 2 goals for Mexico in the CONCACAF U-17 Championship Tournament. Their captain is the number 8, Alexia Delgado. A good, solid team for Mexico. They've had a lot of success building up to this tournament. And there you see their captain, Delgado, along with the referee, Jaime Martinez of Colombia, and an all-Colombian and South American crew for this match. There you see the New Zealand captain joining in, Michaela Foster. She plays her club football for Quadlands Rovers FC. New Zealand comes in not having really been challenged in the OFC qualifying. They won that to advance here to the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. In 5 matches in qualifying, they outscored their opponents 55-0. Here is manager Gareth Turnbull's starting 11. They can be dangerous on the counters and on set pieces. This team prepared for this tournament by competing in their women's senior domestic league. Nicole Medham, Grace Jael, and Jackie Hand all play their club football for the same club. That's Eastern Suburbs AFC. New Zealand look to advance out of this group stage for the first time in their history. There you see the two teams getting ready for this one. Plenty of nerves, no question here. In your first match, you want to get off to a good start here in Group A. A note for Mexico, they lost Mary Carmen Reyes, who's a UCLA signee. She is out with a torn ACL and will not participate in this FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup here. Just seconds away for kickoff. Once again, quarterfinalists were Mexico and Chris Cuellar in 2014. And there you see Gareth Turnbull there. You can see the nerves on his face. They get ready for this one. Let's head it out for our opening kickoff at Amman International Stadium. Here's our commentator, John Anderson. Enjoy the match, everyone.
Number 3 is the central defender, Ali Toailoa. And the look of the defense for Mexico is Kimberly Rodriguez. Everything's set now on a bright and sunny evening, 5 o'clock local time, and we are underway. It's the second meeting between these two nations in the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Mexico won by a single goal 4 years ago in Azerbaijan, in the capital Baku. Here is Toailoa. Plays an early ball into Medham, who was one of the players who was worried yesterday she might not make it. There was an illness in the camp. Half a dozen players were struck down, and Gareth Turnbull told me last night he was fearful that 1 or 2 might not make it, but happily the New Zealand medical staff have been working hard to get everyone back in shape. Hopefully it won't have taken too much out of them. Have had a good preparation, 2 big wins in summer friendlies against Venezuela, who are also here today. Now an early chance for New Zealand. The ball just pushed down the inside right channel, and Hannah Blake, who was the top scorer in qualifying with 14 goals, almost got on the end of that. It was a clever ball through midfield. Medham threaded it, but Blake not quite able to get there, and Miriam Aguirre, the Mexican goalkeeper, was called into early action. Here's the Kiwi skipper, Michaela Foster. Most of them were among the goals in the qualifying tournament. They scored 55 in all. The lowest victory they achieved was by 8-0, but as Gareth Turnbull said yesterday, this is a different level. They swept through the qualifying with ease, They have made a good start here, and again the ball is played in towards Hannah Blake, the 16-year-old from Three Kings United, who is very much the focal point. There's Sam Tafaru, who also will be looking to continue her goal-scoring exploits here. Mexico have made a fairly quiet start, been on the back foot for most of it. Second only to the USA in the CONCACAF Championship earlier this year. Free kick to the Mexicans. Offers them perhaps an opportunity to create something early on. Neto was the player who committed the foul. Backtracking, Rebecca Lake is a tall, commanding figure in the Young Ferns defence. Delivery is by Rodriguez. This is by Foster, not a particularly good one. Mexico have an opportunity here down the left-hand side with Cazares, who is a dangerous player, but has gone out of play. Diana Cazares scored in a recent friendly win against England by 2-1. Quite a lot of the teams who are playing in this tournament have met in friendlies in recent months. Here's Metten. Swept forward by Lake. Lake again, who's seen plenty of the ball in the opening few minutes. It's another searching one. Clearing header was by Jasmine Enrique. Finally, the Mexicans get it away. And a rather awkward header back. Allows New Zealand the chance to keep the pressure up. This is the dangerous Blake. And again, the ball has got beyond the back two. This time it's Sam Tafaru, the joint oldest player in the New Zealand squad, who couldn't quite get on. It was a nice move. Those front three combining really well there. Han, Blake and finally Tafaru, who couldn't quite get onto the through ball. But the Mexicans have been sliced open a few times. New Zealand are very, very much on top with just under 5 minutes gone. Gareth Turnbull, who came out of his dugout to field the ball there, will be very happy with what he's seen so far from his side. Chris Cuellar less so. Mexico have qualified for all of the last 4 tournaments at this level. Only once progressed beyond the group stage. New Zealand have never got past the initial stage of the tournament. Here they come again, though. It's Tafaru. That's a really good tackle. And a few of the New Zealand players felt there might have been a hand there. Referee said no. It was an excellent covering tackle by Jasmine Enrique to deny an opportunity for the dangerous Tafaru. She got 9 goals altogether in the qualifying campaign. There were some astonishing scorelines. They beat Fiji 11-0, Papua New Guinea 8-0 in the final. In the group stage, they won 11-0, 12-0 and 13-0. But this will be a tougher ask for them. You know, Mexico haven't really settled yet. Chris Cuellar was very confident when we spoke to him a couple of days ago. He was very settled in his mind about what his team would be. Here's Ovale, and she's found a way through. It's a good cross, and it was just miskicked at the far post. Decent attempt. First attempt by Mexico, really. Ovale and Cazares, the 2 players we mentioned at the start, might be the dangers, combining well. Difficult chance in the end for Cazares. Decent left foot cross by Ovale, and the miss kick took it behind. Clearance by New Zealand goalkeeper Anna Leet, who's just 15 years old, goes out of play. So Mexico, having seen a half chance come and go, will look to keep the pressure up. cleared by Jackie Hand. It's New Zealand's turn to feel a little bit of the pressure, and got 10 in the qualifying. Also scored a stunning solo goal in a recent game against Japan, who'll be one of the hot favourites to win this competition. The holders, of course, from 2 years ago, they beat New Zealand by 5 goals to 1, which was a bit of a reality check, I think, for the young Ferns. Scored by Tafaru. Scored in the final against Papua New Guinea. You've seen the tide shift a little bit. It is still early days, 7.5 minutes played. Slowly building up inside the Amman International Stadium, because of course Jordan, the host nation, will make their historic bow straight after this game and straight after the opening ceremony that precedes it. Handball given against Diana Cazares. The touch of the ball for Anna Leach, who was born in June 2001. She's made another mistake with a clearance, though. The young goalkeeper trying to pick out Rebecca Lake, and she's got the sun in her eyes. Maybe needs a cap. It is very, very bright. There's a minaret tower poking above the stand on that far side of the field. As you can see, the shadow from our position in the main stand cast over the pitch. Colombian referee Yemi Martinez. She's assisted by one of her compatriots, Luzmila Gonzalez. The other assistant referee is from Bolivia, Liliana Bejarano. Second throw is taken by Lopez. This is Hernandez. It's a throw in. Blake doing the defending again. Hernandez once more. Once again, the New Zealand defending is resolute, but at the cost of a corner, the first of the game. Lunge conceding it. Set-piece opportunity then for the Mexicans. Already taken by Montserrat Hernandez, another of the scorers in that recent friendly against England, which they won. Referee just sorting a few things out inside that New Zealand 18-yard box. Decent delivery. Header is upwards rather than goalwards, and then the subsequent header is a good one by Michaela Foster, just to put the ball out of harm's way. She is an inspirational figure. She was telling us days ago how proud her father is, the All Blacks assistant coach Ian, that his daughter has followed in his footsteps in international sport. 10 minutes gone, 0-0 in the opening match in Group A. No more than half chances for either side, really, so far. These front three for New Zealand look a good unit. Once again, Tafaru trying to set up Hand. Tackle, but a throw-in is the result. Mexico. Preparation period in France. The Mexicans did well also. Beat Paris Saint-Germain's under-17s by 6 goals to 0, and then put 8 past another Paris side, Juvisy. Kick is delivered. Lake gets the header in. Foster doesn't quite get there, but Metum did. Metum is the defensive fulcrum of the Kiwis midfield. The number 6 will sit and protect her back four, while the likes of Jala and Steinmetz are more attacking minded. Still the Mexicans try to get forward. It's away. Claudia Bunge, celebrating her 17th birthday just over a week ago. This is Jale for New Zealand. Bunge. This is what they need to do, just keep the ball. Jale forward. Good move this by the New Zealanders, but once again that tactic of trying to play the ball in behind the back two, which Gareth Turnbull has been working on this week, isn't quite working out at the moment, but you do get the impression that if the New Zealanders can find the right ball, it may not be terribly well defended by Enrique and Rodriguez, the two Mexican centre halves. That's clearly a tactic. Despite the fact they played games that were relatively easily won in qualifying, you'd have to say that goals breed confidence amongst strikers, and the New Zealand trio have plenty of those between them in this calendar year. Once again, the free kick is conceded by New Zealand, a bigger and more physically imposing side than the Mexicans. Ovale as the player penalised. Again, it's Kimberly Rodriguez, who scored in that 8-0 win against Juicy in a friendly match recently, to deliver the ball. It's good length on it, but knocked away by Foster. Here's Soto, the Mexican right back. Ovale gets a touch, and this is promising for the Mexicans. Looks too close to the defender, can't get there, and a scramble in the end, and finally the Mexicans get the ball away. It was half a chance for a moment for Daniela Espinosa as the cross came in from Jimena Lopez. That's a really good last-ditch tackle to keep her out. It was Toailoa who got in, and Espinosa's just holding her ankle. She's back on her feet now. Corner to Mexico. Bunge with the tackle this time. So that Hernandez is the Mexican set-piece specialist. It's going to be another outswinger. Breaks, there's a chance for a shot. It's a decent one, and it's not far away. Well, that was a super effort by the skipper, Alexia Delgado, and it's the closest we've come to an opening goal. Ball came off inadvertently. One of her teammates, oh goodness me, that wasn't far away. Really well struck by the skipper, low and hard. Not convinced the keeper would have got there, might have done, just grazed the foot of the post. That was by some distance the best chance so far. Minutes gone. He's seen his side go very, very close to opening the scoring. He's seen his team, after a spell of early dominance, just come under a little bit of pressure in the last 5 minutes or so. All over the top is towards Blake. Tussling there with Jimena Lopez. Left back for Mexico, whose ball into the box led to the corner, which subsequently ended up at the feet of Delgado. Claudia Bunge with the throw. It's a decent touch. Here's Blake. Now Bunge again. Get a corner for New Zealand. Goalkeeper Aguirre can't quite get there quick enough to prevent it, so the Ferns have their first corner of the match. Tyler Foster is the player who's gone across to take it. And, well, those three, 33 goals between them in 5 matches in qualifying. And Blake and Tafaru. The Mexican defence is going to have to keep the shackles on them. It's in towards the near post. It's very well defended. In by Toailoa. She's given away in midfield very cheaply is Cazares. Early ball forward for Vale. Just can't make anything of it. Bit careless in midfield there by Toailoa. Mexico have been the better team in the last 10 minutes or so. It's a great run into the box. It's a cross. It's surely a goal. Oh, it's an amazing save, but then it's headed in. Mexico have the lead. It was initially kept out brilliantly by Ana Leeds, but it's Espinosa who's applied the touch, and Mexico have the opening goal, and look what it means to them. And Espinosa is having trouble getting up, having scored the opening goal of the game. It all came from a really good break by the Mexicans. Ovale down the right-hand side, got the cross in. Thought that they had to score with the initial shot. It was brilliantly kept out by Ana Leeds, but she could do nothing as Espinosa appeared quickest of all and bravest of all to head the ball into the net. And Mexico, looking to reach the knockout stages for only the second time, have the perfect start. Vale's effort it was that was brilliantly saved. And Espinosa with the final touch. So 1-0 to Mexico. What will New Zealand's response be? The goal came in the 18th minute. And the Central Americans lead. It's Ovale, whose initial shot was saved in the run-up to that goal. Now it's Lopez going to test the goalkeeper again. Oh, referee's not given a foul there. Goalkeeper came out, went over. And it's a corner kick. Lopez is dangerous with her deliveries. Yeah, I think that's a good decision. There was no real contact with the keeper, who elected to punch and didn't get great distance on it. Another corner for Montserrat Hernandez. It was wide this time, but Mexico have grown into this game, suffered a few anxious moments early on, then went close through their captain Delgado, and Chris Cuellar's team have got the goal that their recent dominance perhaps merits. This is faster for New Zealand. Who likes to get forward. She's looking for Blake. Once again, they can't quite find the right final ball at the moment, the New Zealanders, and they still trail with 20 minutes gone in this opening match. Don't forget, we've got Jordan against Spain coming up. Game of massive significance, of course, for the whole of this nation. So proud to be hosting an epoch-breaking event in their country. It's a decent clearance by Rodriguez. It's another free kick for a foul by Tafaro. Pick number 9, a little too aggressive then. Rodriguez, a little bit chancy. Just about get away with it, I think, Mexico. It was good anticipation by Jackie Hand, who saw that the pass was a little weak and looked to get in and try and grab an equaliser. Here's Kimberly Rodriguez. It's for the Texas Rush Club. There are 10 of the Mexican team who play their football in the United States, particularly in California, where of course there is an enormous Latino population. Chris Cuellar himself is a San Diegan, the coach of Mexican descent. count at the moment is 57-43 in favour of the Mexicans, who are on the ball now. This is Lopez. Away by Foster. As far as Steinmetz. Now it's Blake. Absolutely sure that Gareth Turnbull is already preparing his half-time speech, which I'm certain will contain the need for them to show more precision with their final ball. They're getting into good areas in the final third, but the end product so far from New Zealand has been minimal. Really had any kind of attempt on goal yet, even though the front three have taken up decent positions, but they haven't been found. They need to get the likes of Hannah Blake into the box and on the ball. To Anna Leet. Lake again, I should say. We've got a Lake and a Blake in the New Zealand team. Again, it's a hopeful ball that doesn't reach its intended target. Forward by Metten. Given away cheaply again by Tafaro. Here's the speedy Ovale. She's short in stature but very quick, the Mexican number 11. Lake needed to get across and match her pace for pace, and did on that occasion. And the referee just advising calm amongst the opposing players. Delgado trying to get the ball forward. We've got two Delgados in the Mexican team. Alexa, who's the captain, and number 17, Louisa. They're not related. Once again, New Zealand can't make things happen. They might here. This is Hannah Blake. Worth a try. It's their first real effort on goal. She's frustrated it didn't find the target, but I think it'll lift the team a little bit. Difficult opportunity. Set herself up and came rather off the outside of her right boot. We're going to trouble Miriam Aguirre, the Mexican keeper. Their keeper is the oldest in their squad. The New Zealand goalkeeper is the youngest in their squad. So there's almost 2 years difference between the two keepers at either end of the pitch today. This is Lake. Over the top towards Jale. Here's Tafaru trying to pick out Malia Steinmetz, one of the virus victims, but happily fit again. Mistake by Foster. It could yet be costly because Mexico get the ball forward, and thankfully for New Zealand they had Rebecca Lake there to make sure that Espinosa didn't get a chance for a shot on the edge of the box. Lopez again trying to become the provider. Michaela Foster, the New Zealand captain. Back to lead. The Mexicans won't mind that. Lake forward. This is Bunge. So again, they're not really testing the Mexican defenders. 27 minutes gone inside the International Stadium in Jordan. well as a unit, particularly in midfield, denying New Zealand time and space. It's a frustrating match at the moment for Rebecca Lake and Michaela Foster and co, who are trying to create something from the back. A misplaced pass, that's been the story of New Zealand's half, unfortunately for him, Gareth Turnbull. You can see he's clutching his notebook out of his dugout. He'll be a bit happier, I think, Chris Quayla. He's got the advantage at the moment. They're pretty confident with it. Just the one off-target effort by Lake from New Zealand. Here's Ovale, goes for the lob, doesn't quite get it right. It was a good idea. Mexican number 11 though, thwarted by Anna Leet. This is Claudia Bunch for New Zealand, finding Hannah Blake. Steinmetz. That's a decent ball. Now then, here's Jarley. Real opportunity for New Zealand. Cuts it back. They were practicing that move on the pitch before the game. And I'd have to say that generally they did it rather better than Jarley did there. Not able to pick out Tafaro, but here comes Blake again. Is going to be beaten to it by Delgado. Feel of the ball again though, New Zealand. It's a decent ball now. Bunge's got a bit of space down the right-hand side. There are two in the box for her to try and pick out. It's a deeper one. It comes out to Steinmetz. Good defended by Mexico. And they did once on that occasion get in behind, which is what they need to do. Here's Ovale though at the other end, on the counter. Speedy and dangerous, not much support for her at the moment. Might go all the way, Ovale. Cuts it back. And it's a solid intervention. It's all her own work, really. Espinosa finally arrived, but Ovale had, when she looked up, had very, very little to aim at. Might have gone for goal herself. It was a good idea to try and pick out the on-rushing Espinosa, but she was denied a possible second goal by Ali Toailoa. And the corner, though, to the Mexicans, who've now had 3 corners to 1. Looks like this one might be taken short to Hernandez by Alexia Delgado. That's the plan. Delgado gets it in. Header at the near post, but a wayward one. It comes towards Hernandez. Good tackle though by Steinmetz. Here's Blake. Covering was done by Luisa Delgado, player who had to come in late to the squad because of the injury to Maria Carmen Reyes, but has impressed Chris Quayle sufficiently that she merits a place in the starting lineup. She's been very, very solid. Stands out really against the background of her Mexican teammates. Most of them are dark-haired. She's very blonde. Now then, here's Jarley for New Zealand offside. Flag goes up against Jackie Hand, who made the run through the channel. Straightforward decision by a very well-placed official. Miller Gonzalez holding the flag on the near side, representing Colombia. It's a pretty straightforward one for her to spot. Good kick by Aguirre. Here's Luisa Delgado. She's a very tidy player. The base of that Mexican midfield. It is very much a 4-4-2 for the Mexicans. It's a more 4-3-3. Free kick to Mexico. Kimberly Rodriguez, the centre half, will take it. does well. Good handling by 15-year-old Leet. Here's Blake. Trying to manoeuvre a way through. Breaks to Metum. It's a misplaced pass, and Delgado again tidies up. He's playing an increasingly crucial role in that Mexican setup. He's always known what his best starting lineup is. Chris Cuellar, he was perfectly happy to share it with us 2 days ago. One of those coaches who says, right, this is my team, you come and beat us. Not the case with all of them, of course. Turnbull, to be fair to him, had to weather a bit of an illness crisis before he could be sure of what his starting 11 would be. Here's Ovale, dispossessed by Bunge. Trying to find Hand. Mexico have won it back. It's Alexa Delgado. And now Ashley Soto. To switch it towards Espinoza. Better though by Rebecca Lake. Not a particularly good clearance following that by Toailoa, but they got away with it. Here's Blake. She's got her two strike partners ahead of her. Tafaru and Hand. Foster plays a good ball out wide. He comes towards Tafaru. Nine games since New Zealand last won a match in the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. It was their only ever victory. They beat Colombia on home soil in the third group match in 2008. They'd already lost the opening two. These two sides between them have only ever qualified once for the latter stages. Here's Ovale trying to help Mexico do that. The marking was poor at the back post just for a moment. You sense that Diana Cazares might sneak in, but it was beyond her. Another free kick to the Mexicans. Play by Ovale, who's a very, very talented youngster. Plays for the Aguascalientes club. Told us earlier in this week that she was spurred on to play football by her brother, who was teasing her that she'd never be able to kick a ball straight, and well, she's shown him now, hasn't she? Here she is on the ball. It's a lovely goal. Jacqueline Ovale doubles Mexico's advantage 10 minutes before half-time. Joy for the Central Americans, but the mountain has just come a little bit steeper for New Zealand. They left her alone at the back post, and she's been one of the leading lights of the game so far. Just see here, Bunge missed the header completely. It was well controlled by Ovale, and the finish in the end was a fairly simple one after the defender had missed it, and it was unerringly drilled into the corner. And it's Mexico 2, New Zealand 0. Well, I wonder if her brother's watching at home in Mexico, and she'll be phoning him up tonight, I'm sure, and saying, you told me I'd never make it as a footballer. Well, look at me now. I've just scored a goal in the World Cup finals. So, New Zealand, double trouble for them now. Ball forward. They haven't played well, particularly in the final third. They were let down by Bunge there, who missed her header completely from the ball in from the right-hand side for the second goal. And Mexico have got just the start they wanted. Well, his problems have just got a whole lot bigger, Gareth Turnbull. He was at the Olympic Games a couple of months ago watching the New Zealand women and helping them in that particular competition. He's back in the international spotlight, but his team are struggling at the moment. Mexico, who didn't play particularly well themselves for the opening 10 minutes, certainly have been the better side. And they've been more clinical in their forward play and finishing, certainly, than New Zealand have. And these youngsters will quickly learn that you don't get too many chances in international football and you need to take them. So Michaela Foster, the New Zealand captain, will to play a skipper's role here as she contemplates the free kick. They desperately need to get back into this game before half-time. There's the familiar spray. First time we saw that was in one of these junior tournaments that FIFA put on. Blake runs over the ball, Foster plays it in. Split header away by Ashley Soto. Strange to me to see the main strikers, Blake, running over the ball from a free kick. You'd think she'd need to be in the box with New Zealand trailing by 2-0. Only 7 minutes left in the opening half. Here's Jackie Hand. Good run by her. And it's a poor ball. Looks like it might sneak across the line for a corner. It does. And Mexico so far have defended pretty well. They need to do so again here for the corner. Foster again is going to deliver from the set piece, left-footed player. Hand and Blake and Tafara await. A big moment in the match, this. And the referee is warning Jimena Lopez that she's getting a little bit too close to her opponents. There's Foster's corner. Great header away by Luisa Delgado, and then a missed kick by Lake. Comes out to Toailoa. It's a long way off target. Both of Michaela Foster's corners have gone straight to the player stationed on the near post. Just another thing New Zealand are going to have to improve in the last 5 minutes of this half. There's Kimberly Rodriguez. Toailoa. Now Lake.
No fall, no fall, no fall.
Here's Hand. That was right under the nose of Gareth Turnbull, the New Zealand coach, who was pleased to see that the officials agreed with his interpretation that it was a foul on Jackie Hand. This time it's going to be Bunge to take the free kick. Here's Hand on a bad cross, but again it's well dealt with. They look a decent pair, Enrique and Rodriguez, at the heart of the Mexican defence, and with Luisa Delgado in front of them, it's a difficult unit to break down. They're well drilled. We did mention they've been together, some of these Mexican girls, for a long time, notwithstanding their young ages, under 14 level, a lot of them first got together. Toailoa, purposeful run forward by her. Finds Hand. Decent run by Hand with a good ball, but just too far in front of Blake, who's not going to be able to keep it in play. And it's just another example in the long catalogue of New Zealand openings which have not borne any fruit due to misdirected deliveries. 2.5 minutes left of the opening half. They are continuing to build up ahead of Jordan's opening game against Spain. Here's Lopez for Mexico. With the cover. Another Mexican corner. It would certainly round off a good 45 minutes work for him if they can find another goal from this situation. It's like another short one for Delgado to try and eventually deliver. It goes, but flicked away by Lake. There's Lopez. She's played well. Swapped across from her normal station on the left there to try and get a crossing on the right, but ran the ball out of play. A good unit, the Mexicans. Combination of strength and silk and flair as well. There's Claudia Bunch for New Zealand. Just 1 minute to be added on at the end of the opening period. So very little time for New Zealand to try and manufacture something. And is by the corner flag and gets a throw. This really will be the last chance for them. His hand tries to nutmeg Lopez. It doesn't come off. She's been excellent, the left back, both in terms of her defending and her occasional deliveries from out wide. Steinmetz gets the ball in. Chance for New Zealand. Second chance and saved. There was a shot by Tawara that was saved initially, and when it came out to hand, she couldn't get it on target either. That was the good save by Aguirre. It's the first time she's really been called into meaningful action. And Tafaru got it on target. First one on target for the New Zealand side, but the goalkeeper was equal to it. Mexico will be grateful that didn't find its way in. And their 2-goal advantage remains intact. It's been a reasonably entertaining half for the crowd here at the Amman International Stadium. Cazares dispossessed. And there's the half-time whistle, so a wonderful opening to the tournament for the Mexicans, who will head for the dressing rooms 2 goals to the good. Jacqueline Ovalle got the second in the 36th minute after Daniela Espinosa's header had put them in front. New Zealand rarely threatened, although they did get a chance late on, but an excellent save by Miriam Aguirre denied Sam Tafaru the chance to get them back into the game. Half-time, Mexico 2, New Zealand 0.